What's up, Chiefs fans? Welcome back to the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. Gonna have a little bit of a somber tone to the first part of this show, kind of give you a little bit of update on the shooting and everything that kind of happens around that. But we're gonna get to some roster moves that the Chiefs made later on in the show, but want to make sure you're informed on everything that happened and kind of the info we have a day later after the unfortunate events that occurred after the Super Bowl rally/parade yesterday. So let's kind of get to the latest news here. Talking this from Arrowhead Addict, one of the multiple news outlets for the Kansas City Chiefs, saying that the latest update from officials say that 22 total persons were shot, and half of those injured were children aged 6 through 15. I just can't believe it. The 3 people were apprehended by police and remain in custody, although they have not been identified, nor has a motion been established for the shooting. Now, or motive, excuse me. Now, this is kind of a little bit of an update, so obviously that was earlier this morning. We got this tweet literally just a couple moments ago. Katie Moore of the KC Star saying that 2 juveniles and an adult were detained in the mass shooting Wednesday that injured 22 and killed a woman. KC Police Chief Stacey Graves said a dispute between several people led to the shooting that erupted at the end of the Chiefs Super Bowl rally. I just can't believe it. I mean, the fact that this was a dispute between a couple members and caused injuries to 20 people and killed someone else is just unspeakable. I still kind of can't comprehend the events that happened, but unfortunately, it's the way that America's worked over the past couple of years. I will say events like this have some sort of a way of bringing a community together, and the eyes on Kansas City have never been brighter, and it's hopefully being in a positive light. Drew Tranquil was the first to tweet out about something yesterday, saying, "Please join me in prayer for all the victims in this heinous act. Pray that doctors and first responders would have steady hands and that all would experience full healing." And he was the first one, but then obviously, this was just after the parade, so responses started flooding in. Patrick Mahomes just a couple hours later saying, "Praying for all of Kansas City." Last night, Travis Kelce weighed in saying, "I am heartbroken over the tragedy that took place today. My heart is with all who came out to celebrate with us and have been affected. KC, you mean the world to me." And then Stone Cold Jones last night, very late, saying, "I'm devastated about this news. I'm praying for the families affected." The support is great. Obviously, it's one of the positives you can take away is that this will continue to kind of bring the community of Kansas City together and ultimately create for a fighting response in some ways. But the fact that this was literally a dispute between a couple people and caused injuries to children is just it's violent and it's horrendous. Kansas City Chiefs also released a statement saying, "We are truly saddened by the senseless acts of violence that occurred outside of Union Station at the conclusion of today's parade and rally. Our hearts go out to the victims, their families, and all of Kansas City." They continue on to say, "We are in close communication with the mayor's office as well as the Kansas City Police Department. At this time, we have confirmed that all our players, coaches, staff, and their families are safe and accounted for. We thank the local law enforcement officers and first responders who were on the scene to assist." Now, I don't want to talk about this long because ultimately, it's a tough thing to talk about, but I do want to sit here and say that this has to stop. I mean, this is just another book in the story. I mean, 6 years ago on February 14th, we were talking about a shooting, and now we're talking about another one. I just kind of can't believe it. Prayers out to everybody who was affected by this. And obviously, this creates for, effects long after just mentally, physically, and a lot of things that are just going to come out of this. But I want to sit here and say that the positives can come and the positives can hopefully take over all the negatives that we have had to experience for the past 24 hours. So I just hope we can all take the positive out of this and that the community of Kansas City can grow stronger and better and that hopefully something will finally be done about all these heinous acts. Now let's kind of take a deep breath here and let's try and get to some news that we got yesterday. Obviously, was not the most important news of the day, so we did not get to it, but I think it's important to talk about as it's something that is going to affect the Kansas City Chiefs in this off season. Now, let's kind of get back into a little bit of a better tone here and saying the Chiefs did sign 8 free agents. Again, that was lost on the news yesterday, so kind of something we, again, didn't want to bring up, but here's what happened. Matt Dickerson obviously tweeting this out yesterday saying, "Far from the most important news of the day, but the Chiefs have signed 8 free agents today. Defensive tackle Isaiah Buggs, safety Trey Dean, defensive tackle Matt Dickerson, Running back Keaontay Ingram, defensive end Truman Jones, running back Deneric Prince, cornerback Keith Taylor, wide receiver Montrell Washington. Now, just a note that he has in there that I want to make sure you know, all these were practice squad members whose contracts expired, but Brett Veach wanted to make sure that they are sticking with the Chiefs and could potentially make the 53-man roster this upcoming season. Obviously, with the conclusion of the 2023 season, now the 90-man roster can start to be kind of worked upon, and Brett Veach, well, he wasted no time. He already got these 8 guys. I'm going to go and kind of limit this to 5 and maybe talk about the important ones that I see could potentially be working out and obviously make the roster in 2024. Let's start with the first one, and that is defensive tackle Isaiah Buggs. Now, I've seen a lot of buzz on him on Twitter saying that they like the signing, people saying he could really work out, and I see why. This guy has been in the league for a little bit now, and he's shown some prowess pretty much every single year. Back to 2023, he had 12 tackles, 1 sack, 1 pass breakup. 2022, 46 tackles, 1 pass breakup, 17 tackles back in 2020. So overall, this guy was a stable horse in the league for Pittsburgh, and then obviously Detroit did sign with the Chiefs in a practice squad role, but I think he could play an important role in 2024. Now, why, you ask? Well, because the defensive line could potentially be in a place of need. The free agents on this list are plentiful. You have Mike Dana, Chris Jones, and Derek Nunny, who are all free agents. That's 3 of your 4 starters, guys, on defense. Malik Herring and Tershawn Wharton, who are also going to be on there. Obviously, we're going to have Charles Omenihu back in some form or fashion at some point in the season. With a torn ACL, he probably will miss the first couple weeks. Maybe a similar situation this year where he had those 6 games missed because of suspension. Could be a similar situation where he misses the first 6 games. But the defensive line could be tight. So Buggs, well, I think that's a good sign. Because if you get Chris Jones, he's going to cost $30 million. You're not going to have too much more money to spend on your defensive line. Obviously, Mike Pennell did pretty well in the Super Bowl. Neil Farrell Jr. was silently having a pretty good season when he was out there. Felix Uzoma could also come in and play an important role in the second year. I could see that happening, but still, given the defensive tackle position could be tight, I like Isaiah Buggs. I do ask this question. We're going into 2024 now. Will the Kansas City Chiefs complete the three-peat in 2024 with a Super Bowl win? Get in the comment section and let me know. Type Y for yes. Type N for no. I want to see some Ys because I got to get that confidence level up for 2024. Because listen, I already got my Super Bowl gift for 2023, and you can too at chatsports.com/Super Bowl. This hat is super snazzy. Ordered that a couple days ago. Can't wait to have it. Got the crucial shirts they had on the field. Had players wearing this. Got the short sleeve Super Bowl champions. You also got the home of the chrome shirts, which I really like. I think it's an interesting take and something that a lot of people can't say because guess what? Everybody's gone back-to-back since 2003, 2004. Also, if you're not a short sleeve shirt guy or girl, you can get a long sleeve shirt as well. They've got everything that we just showed you in all sorts of sizes, men's, women's, men's, large, youth, everything. They have it all covered right down there, chatsports.com/Super Bowl. We'll have that link in the comments, the description. So make sure if you haven't already gotten your Super Bowl gear, then guess what? Now's the time. Go down there and snag that right now. Let's continue on with our important signings here. Matt Dickerson, the defensive tackle, and it's the same kind of phrase here of why he is important because of, well, guess what? Matt Dickerson, defensive tackle. Defensive tackle is an important slot as you have to continue to bolster up that defensive line. Now, Dickerson did actually play with the Chiefs this year, and he was active for 12 games. He only made 15 tackles, which, I'm not going to say is amazing. But at the same time, we look at this and we think, okay, this guy has experience with the Chiefs. This guy knows the Chiefs' defense. And on top of which, the defensive line was tight. Matt played a couple of those games that were tight. Obviously, when the injury started to patch up, when Chris Jones had the holdout, it was able to kind of go throughout this and create a better system. Let's go to the third most important signing, and that is Deneric Prince. And it's going to be along the similar lines of why he is important as Isaiah Buggs and Matt Dickerson. But Prince also had some good things in the preseason. We saw Deneric as a really potential option for this Kansas City Chiefs squad. Obviously, talked about Clyde Edwards-Helaire and all them potentially not playing with him. But free agency is going to hit the Chiefs hard. You obviously have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Michael P. Ryan, and Jerick McKinnon, who are all going to be free agents in 2024. So, obviously here, what are they going to do? Are they going to sign back Clyde? Are they going to sign back Jarek? Are they going to sign back LaMichael too? Well, I think Clyde and Jarek are the two most options here. So I want you to pick a running back. Who would be the one you would re-sign for the 2024 season? Is it going to be Clyde Edwards-Helaire, then type CEH? Or is it going to be Jerick McKinnon? I want you to type JM. Let me know in the comment section which running back you are re-signing in 2024. The next most important signing is Trey Dean, the safety. Now, we talked about Dean in a video prior a couple weeks back, but I want to kind of re-hit on why he's important. The first thing is he was a dog at Florida. The second thing is he was liked by the Jets before he was put on the practice squad, and the Chiefs just kind of ripped him from them, took him away, and now he's on the Chiefs. He was re-signed, and it seems as though Brett Veach has a pretty good way of scouting safeties. Mike Edwards, that's a free agent last year, played amazing. Brian Cook, before he got injured, was really good in just his second year. Justin Reed. Talk about cornerbacks. He's had L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie. Secondary-wise, Brett Veach knows what he's doing, so if he likes Trey Dean, I like Trey Dean too. Let's go to the last one. I think this one may be a pretty important one. Montrell Washington. Now, you may remember back to prior in the season when Montrell actually got activated from the practice squad when Richie James was injured and McCole Hardman was not yet on the team. He was the kick and punt returner. That was what he specialized with the Denver Broncos back when he was with them. He's a wide receiver, but he's also a good returnman. I think that's his more important skill because next year, with Richie James potentially being a free agent and the Chiefs not signing him back, a return man could be needed. Kadarius Toney maybe could be cut by the Kansas City Chiefs. You're going to need somebody to return punts and kicks. Oh, Jace, what about McCole Hardman? Also a free agent. So Montrell Washington could pay a lot of dividends in the punt and kick returning game. Let's look at his stats, though, compared to Richie James, because obviously Richie was the main one this year, and he has a lot more punt return attempts and kick return attempts, so more experienced for sure. But I still like what I've seen from Montrell Washington, averaging 11.6 per return on both kicks and punts combined, and on top of which, he's still pretty young. Got those nice legs, and it moves off the ball really well, so I'm excited to see. I would like to see Washington back. I don't know in what stance. I think he'd probably be a practice squad member once again. That would be the same situation of this year of, okay, if we have a return man go down, you're the next guy up because we trust you. We trust that you know what you're going to do. And overall, on top of which, he has experience, and he's played with the Chiefs this year in a couple games, most notably in the New York Jets game in week 4, I believe. We appreciate you hanging around with us. I know that some of these shows aren't exactly the greatest things to make, and that's still kind of a little sad, but we're going to rally back from this, and make sure you're hitting that subscribe button because hopefully we're going to get some more positive news, get some better videos out to you in the next coming days. But for now, that's all I got for you, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Prayers for everybody affected, and peace out.